come on, mean man. This is my Jamaican residence, Rastafari.
Alright, Ian, I am Tucker Merritt.
I've heard about you.
And, I guess we'll sit down and we'll start the interview.
Okay then, Rastafari.
Alright.
Yeah.
Sit on down, Ian. Alright, Ian, what is Rastafarianism?
Rastafarianism is a religion based on the return of blacks to Africa.
And, Ian, could you give us a brief history of Rastafarianism?
Sure, Tucker. We believe, Scarvey. Other words, the Messiah of Rastafarianism.
Alright, Ian, I've, done brief research on Rastafarianism. Can you tell me about Ali Selassie?
Yes, of course, Tucker. Well, he was originally born into a royal family in Ethiopia. He had to fight his way to be king of the country, and he succeeded with his mountain guards called the Mountain Lions. And they wore their hair in locks, and villages would refer to them as dreadlocks, which are these now, which are called dreadlocks. So Haile Selassie was king of Ethiopia for the majority of the 1900s, and of course Marcus Garvey preached that there would be soon a king crowned in Africa, and that king would be the new reincarnation of God, or Jah, as we refer to him as. So Selassie eventually visited Jamaica, although he had no real understanding of why Rastas in Jamaica worshipped him. As he visited Jamaica, more and more people followed him. He eventually left Jamaica in the 1966, and he went back to Ethiopia, and in the late to early 70s and 80s, he was overthrown by a Republican army of Ethiopia, who would become the government as we know it today. And he was arrested and kept under house arrest, where he later died the next year, and we still believe that he lives, although there is no real record of him dying. And we either believe that he is living in hiding, waiting for the day of judgment, or he lives in our souls as I and I.
Alright, Ian, thank you. That was very informative. So, Ian, can you tell me about Bob Marley?
Of course, Tucker. He is was a very popular reggae artist, which is what most people refer to Rastafarians as reggae. And he preached about Jah and Babylon being everywhere else besides Ethiopia, which is referred to as Zion. And he preached the words of Marcus Garvey and Haile Selassie and all Rastas everywhere, and became a big influence on spreading the culture of Rastas and also the culture of Jamaicans everywhere throughout the world. And it's now, Rastafarianism is being practiced in several countries throughout the world, and much thanks to Bob Marley for that.
Alright, Ian, could you tell me about the migration back to Africa?
Of course. Well, of course, Marcus Garvey preached about where the blacks were sold into slavery by the white men. And Marcus Garvey came up with the Black Steam Line, which transported blacks from America back to Africa. And lots of blacks went back to Ethiopia, where Selassie originated a township for them in Shashamene, which was south of Addis Ababa, and at its height reached about 2,200 people, but slowly the population decreased to only about 250 as it is today. And not many people go back to Africa, blacks go back to Africa, but they believe that they should. They refer to the belief in going back to Africa more than the actual journey.
Ian, could you tell me about the culture of Rastas?
Yes, Tucker. Our hair obviously refers to the mountain warriors of Haile Selassie, as I've mentioned before. Our flag is red, green, and yellow, and also occasionally has black. and those are all representatives to black culture and black heritage. Basically, the main music of Rastafarianism is reggae, but that's the most common one. But our religion that we find is more referring to us is like the original African music, as you see with the steel drums and other African instruments. And our dialect is unique because we don't say negatives, we only say positives, and we also say I and I because we believe that God is one with us, not we are just by ourselves.
Alright, Ian. That was a very good, valid point right there. So, Ian, I understand there's cannabis use in Rastafarianism. Is this true?
Of course it is. It's cleansed the spirit.
Alright, Ian, do you have some cannabis on you?
Why, of course. I will get you some.
Oh, no, Ian, that's not necessary. Just sit down.
Are you sure?
Just down. So you use cannabis?
Yes.
And
all
there's
the
some
time.
on this residence?
Oh, no, of course. In the backyard, you want me to get you some?
Let's lock and load, boys.
Go get some for you.
No, Ian, sit down. Do you know what this is I'm holding in my hands right here?
Some sort of tape recorder, I think?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's for an interview, yes.
But you've just been evidence that you've cannabis here, and...
Is there a problem with that?
Guys! Get in here!
Get down!
Boy!
Hold your back! Get him! And remember, kids,
Police
this is why you don't do pot! Look in the camera!
Alright, so this is Rastafarianism. This has been, over dramatic.
But, cameraman! Don't do pot, kids! Cameraman!
It's a religious belief. But this is what can happen to you if you smoke weed too much. Rastafarianism, it's most well known for the use of cannabis, of ganja, same plants, but as we just showed, it's an actual issue of Rastas using their belief in America or places where it is illegal to use weed, and we just want to portray that.